Hello everybody, this is Cap of cODeAclysm, and I would like to welcome you to the 13th tutorial in my Beginner C++ tutorial series. So, in this video, we are just going to be making a class, and I'll be showing you the two different ways to make an object based off that class and how to access the class attributes and methods. So, let's start off by, of course, creating our class. So we do this by saying the class keyword and then the name of our class, which in this case we want it to be car, and opening and closing braces. So we're going to say public and then have three variables: int year, string make, and string model. And then down here we are going to have a method that prints out all of this information. Oh, whoops. Oh, also, by the way, in my eternal struggle with my screen capture software, I've finally gotten it to show all of the, kind of drop down bars that come up as I'm typing. It turns out that it automatically disables the arrow, it automatically disables arrow when it turns on. So I went into the settings and disabled that, so you guys can now see the drop downs as I'm typing. And I'll try to get the slideshow thing figured out sometime too, guys. I know that's really annoying to have all the red marks under all that. But anyways, now that we have that method made, we're going to come down below that and make what's called a destructor. So the destructor is called when the object is destroyed. And you make a destructor by putting a tilde, which is the key right below your escape key, and saying the class name followed by parentheses, and then opening and closing braces. So we just want it to print out object is gone. So it's going to call this when our object is destroyed. And you'll see why I did that here in a minute. Oh, and also, we haven't gone over encapsulation in much detail yet, but when we do, you guys are going to realize that this is a horrid class. This isn't something you would actually want to make. I'm just doing this for a simple example. But you guys are going to quickly realize that when I start talking about encapsulation in the next couple videos. So I just kind of wanted to point that out to you guys, is that this isn't really a very good format for making a class. Well, making these all public, I should say, is not very good. If we had these up here in a private section, then this would be, an okay class. But since I put all this in the public area, it's, from an encapsulation standpoint, a nightmare. So we're just going to make two void functions here. And then we are going to create an object based off of our class. So we're going to say car Mustang. And so to access our variables or attributes inside of our class, we can just say Mustang, or in this case our object, since we've now created an object. You say make Ford, saying dot model is of course Mustang. Year, we will say that it is a 2015, and then we will call Mustang dot print info. So pretty straightforward. That's how you make the object, and then this is how you alter the attributes of the object, and this is how you call a method of that object. So down here we're going to make an identical function, and we'll call it a function 2, but we're going to make this function, or make this object, in the alternative way I mentioned in the video. So we need to make this a pointer, and then say equal new car. And since we are accessing these attributes and methods through a pointer, we don't access them using the dot or access operator. We access them using an arrow type deal. So we need to change all those to an arrow. And then of course call our functions. Okay, so let's save this and then run it. So I hope you guys kind of noticed here that after our first function ran, it says object is gone, which means the destructor was called and the object was destroyed. But in our second one, that was never called and our object wasn't destroyed. And that's a problem. So that's why I strongly recommend using this method of creating an object whenever possible, and only use this method when we have to. So you probably won't see this method of creating an object very much in my future tutorials unless we absolutely have to. And I'll probably go into more detail on how this works when I get into pointers and memory management. But for now, that'll probably be about the last that you'll see of that for a while. But when we have to use it, we want to be sure to call the delete and delete it. Save, run. And as you can see, this time it did destroy our object, which is what we wanted it to do. And that's about all I'm going to cover in this video, guys. So, another thing worth mentioning is that if you do not specify that you want your variables or attributes to be public, they are by default going to be private. So if I erase those and then come up here, as you can see, it says that we can't access them because of course they are now private since they're up here. So anyways, I would like to thank you for watching this video. And if you liked it, please do like and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter to keep up to date on when we post these tutorials. And I will see you in the next video.